The Zephyrian Dilemma. The vast expanse of space stretched out before the U.S. horizon, humanity's most advanced exploration vessel. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling, ethereal planet that loomed ahead. Zephyria, a world shrouded in mystery and the subject of years of research, was finally within reach. Status report. Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the excitement coursing through her veins. Lieutenant Commander Jamal Khan, her second-in-command, responded promptly. All systems nominal, Captain. We're maintaining orbit at 100,000 kilometers. No signs of artificial satellites or space-based defenses. Elena nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Excellent. Initiate first contact protocols. Let's introduce ourselves to our new neighbors. As the crew bustled with activity, Elena couldn't help but reflect on the magnitude of this moment. Humanity had dreamed of this day for centuries, the discovery of an advanced alien civilization. The Zephyrians, from what they could gather from long-range scans, possessed technology far beyond Earth's current capabilities. This encounter could change the course of human history forever. Dr. Samantha Chen, the ship's stenobiologist, approached Elena with a tablet in hand. Captain, I've compiled our latest findings on Zephyrian physiology. They're humanoid, but with some fascinating differences. Their skin appears to change color based on emotional states, and they have a complex system of bioluminescent organs. Anything we should be particularly concerned about? Elena asked, always mindful of potential threats. Samantha shook her head. Nothing immediately alarming. They seem to breathe an atmosphere similar to ours, though with a higher concentration of noble gases. We should be able to interact with them safely, given proper precautions. As Elena digested this information, a crackling sound filled the bridge. Lieutenant Sarah O'Neill, the communications officer, straightened in her chair. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the planet's surface. The crew fell silent as Elena gave the order to put it through. A holographic display flickered to life in the center of the bridge, revealing a tall, slender being with iridescent skin that shimmered between shades of blue and green. Its large, almond-shaped eyes regarded them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Greetings, visitors from beyond, the alien spoke, its voice melodious and otherworldly. I am High Counselor Zara of the Zephyrian Collective. We have long anticipated this day. Elena stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. Greetings, High Counselor Zara. I am Captain Elena Reyes of the United Earth Alliance vessel U.S. Horizon. We come in peace, seeking friendship and the exchange of knowledge. Zara's skin rippled with patterns of light, a display that Dr. Chen whispered was likely an expression of interest or excitement. We welcome you, Captain Reyes. Your arrival marks a momentous occasion for our people. However, we must insist that you follow our sacred customs if you wish to establish formal relations. Elena nodded, her diplomatic training kicking in. Of course, High Counselor. We respect your traditions and would be honored to participate in any ceremonies you deem necessary. A flicker of what might have been amusement passed across Zora's features. Very well. Our most sacred custom for greeting outsiders requires that a representative of the visiting party must delight all the women of our ruling council. A stunned silence fell over the bridge. Elena blinked, certain she had misheard. I beg your pardon, High Counselor. Could you clarify what you mean by delight? Zora's skin shifted to a deep purple. It is a ritual of connection, Captain. The chosen representative must engage in a series of challenges designed to bring joy and satisfaction to each member of our female council. This can involve displays of physical prowess, intellectual discourse, artistic expression, or more intimate interactions, depending on the preferences of each counselor. Elena fought to keep her expression neutral, though she could feel the eyes of her crew upon her. This was far beyond anything covered in their first contact protocols. I see, she said carefully. And if we were to decline this custom? The atmosphere in the holographic projection seemed to chill. Then we would have no choice but to consider your presence a hostile act, Zara replied, her tone suddenly sharp. The ritual is a test of trust and openness. To refuse is to declare yourselves unworthy of our friendship, or worse, potential enemies. Elena's mind raced. The stakes couldn't be higher. This encounter could lead to unprecedented advancements for humanity, or it could spark an interstellar conflict with a technologically superior species. She needed time to think, to consult with her crew and Earth's leadership. High Counselor, Elena said, choosing her words carefully, we are honored by your offer to participate in your sacred traditions. However, as this is our first encounter with your people, we would request a brief period to confer among ourselves and ensure we fully understand the implications of this ritual. Would you grant us this courtesy? Zara seemed to consider this for a moment, her skin swirling with patterns of blue and gold. Very well, Captain Reyes. You have one planetary rotation to make your decision. We await your response with great anticipation. As the holographic projection faded, Elena turned to face her stunned crew. The gravity of their situation hung heavy in the air. Well, Jimmel said, breaking the silence, that's certainly not a scenario we covered in the academy. Elena allowed herself a wry smile. No, it certainly isn't. But this is why we're out here, to encounter the unexpected and find a way forward. She straightened her uniform, her resolve strengthening. I want all department heads in the conference room in 10 minutes. We need to analyze every angle of this situation and come up with a plan. As the crew dispersed to prepare for the meeting, Elena gazed out at the swirling atmosphere of Zephyria. Somewhere down there, an alien civilization waited to see how humanity would respond to their challenge. The fate of two species hung in the balance, and Elena knew that the decisions made in the next few hours would echo through history. Little did she know that this was only the beginning of a series of events that would test the limits of human ingenuity, courage, and diplomacy, and ultimately reshape the galaxy itself. Cultural clash. The trial of Captain Elena Reyes. The conference room aboard the U.S. Horizon buzzed with tension as Captain Elena Reyes faced her senior staff. The holographic display at the center of the table flickered with images of Zephyria, its swirling purple atmosphere a stark reminder of the alien world that held their fate in the balance. Ladies and gentlemen, Elena began, her voice steady despite the pressure. We have less than 20 Earth hours to decide how to respond to the Zephyrians' unique custom. I need options, and I need them now. Dr. Samantha Chen, the xenobiologist, spoke up first. Captain, I've been analyzing the biological data we've gathered on the Zephyrians. There's something fascinating about their neural structure. It appears they have a form of collective consciousness, similar to a quantum-entangled network. Lieutenant Commander Jamal Khan leaned forward, intrigued. Are you suggesting their delight ritual might be more than it seems? Exactly, Samantha nodded enthusiastically. What if this isn't just about physical or emotional pleasure? What if it's a way for them to literally connect with our minds, to understand us on a fundamental level? Elena's eyes widened as she considered the implications. So whoever participates in this ritual might be giving the Zephyrians access to all of humanity's knowledge and memories. It's a possibility we can't ignore, Samantha confirmed. The room fell silent as the weight of this revelation sank in. It was Lieutenant Sarah O'Neill who finally broke the tension. Well, that certainly raises the stakes, but it might also be an opportunity. If the connection goes both ways, we could learn just as much about them. Elena nodded thoughtfully. A valid point, Sarah, but it also increases the risk. We need to consider the worst-case scenarios. If this goes wrong, we could be handing over humanity's deepest secrets to a potentially hostile alien race. As the debate continued, a sudden alarm blared through the ship. Captain to the bridge immediately, came the urgent call over the intercom. The senior staff rushed to their stations, only to be met with a sight that sent chills down their spines. A massive Zephyrian warship had appeared in orbit, dwarfing the horizon. Report. Elena barked, sliding into her captain's chair. The Zephyrian vessel appeared out of nowhere. Captain, Jamal responded, his fingers flying over his console. They seemed to have some form of advanced cloaking technology. Our sensors didn't detect a thing until they were right on top of us. Before Elena could respond, the view screen flickered to life, revealing High Counselor Zara. Her skin pulsed with angry red patterns. Captain Reyes, your time for deliberation has ended. We have detected quantum communications leaving your vessel, no doubt attempting to contact your homeworld. This violation of our trust cannot stand. Elena's mind raced. They hadn't sent any communications. How could the Zephyrians have detected something that didn't happen? Unless, High Counselor, I assure you there has been a misunderstanding. We have not. Zara cut her off with a gesture. Enough. Your deception only proves your unworthiness. You will be brought to the surface to stand trial for your crimes against the Zephyrian collective. Prepare to be teleported. Before anyone could react, a strange, shimmering field enveloped Elena. She had just enough time to lock eyes with Jamal, silently communicating her final order: protect the crew, no matter what. Then, in a flash of purple light, she vanished from the bridge. Helena materialized in what appeared to be a vast, organic courtroom. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, and hundreds of Zephyrians watched from tiered seating that seemed to grow from the very floor. At the center, Elena found herself trapped in a translucent bubble, facing a panel of stern-looking alien judges. High Counselor Zara's voice boomed through the chamber. Elena Reyes of Earth, you stand accused of espionage, deception, and violation of our most sacred laws. How do you plead? Elena straightened her posture, meeting Zara's gaze with determination. Not guilty. There has been a grave misunderstanding, and I demand the opportunity to explain. A murmur rippled through the crowd, their skin flickering with a kaleidoscope of colors. One of the judges leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. You were caught attempting to transmit sensitive information about our world to your people. What explanation could possibly justify such an act? We sent no such transmission, Elena insisted. Our mission is one of peace and discovery. We would never. Suddenly, a familiar voice cut through the chamber. She speaks the truth. All eyes turned to see Dr. Samantha Chen being led into the courtroom by Zephyrian guards. I can prove it. Chaos erupted in the chamber as Samantha was brought forward. Elena's mind whirled. How had Samantha gotten here? What proof could she possibly have? Zara raised a hand, silencing the crowd. This is most irregular. Who are you, and how dare you interrupt these proceedings? Samantha stood tall, her scientific curiosity seemingly overriding any fear. I am Dr. Samantha Chen, xenobiologist of the U.S. Horizon, and I believe I've uncovered the true nature of your delight ritual, as well as the source of the transmission you detected. The judges conferred briefly before turning back to Samantha. Speak, Earth scientist. But know that if your words are found to be false, you are sharing your captain's punishment. Samantha nodded, then launched into her explanation. The quantum entanglement network that forms your collective consciousness, it's not just limited to your own people, is it? You found a way to extend it, to reach out and touch other minds across vast distances. A ripple of unease passed through the Zephyrian crowd. Zara's skin paled to a ghostly white. How could you possibly know this? Because, Samantha continued, her voice growing more confident, the moment we entered your star system, you reached out to us. The transmission you detected wasn't from our ship. It was from your own unconscious attempt to connect with our minds. Elena's eyes widened as the pieces fell into place. The strange dreams she'd been having since they arrived, the odd moments of déjà vu, it all made sense now. One of the judges leaned forward, his voice trembling. If what you say is true, then our most closely guarded secret has been exposed. The ritual was never about physical pleasure or even cultural exchange, Elena finished, understanding dawning. It was about fully integrating a representative of humanity into your collective consciousness, a way to truly know us, and to be known in return. The courtroom erupted into chaos as the Zephyrians grappled with this revelation. Some demanded immediate action against the humans, while others called for a complete reevaluation of their first contact protocols. Amidst the tumult, Zara approached Elena's containment bubble, her expression a mix of fear and awe. "Captain Reyes, it seems we have both underestimated each other. Perhaps it is we who have failed the test of first contact." As the barrier around her dissipated, Elena stepped forward, extending a hand to the alien leader. "High Counselor, we stand at a crossroads. We can let fear and misunderstanding drive us apart, or we can embrace this opportunity to truly know one another. The choice is ours." Zara hesitated for a moment, then reached out, her iridescent hand clasping Elena's. The instant they touched, a surge of energy pulsed through the room. Every Zephyrian gasped in unison as the full weight of human history, culture, and emotion flooded their collective consciousness. In that moment, barriers crumbled. The Zephyrians experienced the triumphs and tragedies of Earth, the hopes and fears that drove humanity to the stars. And Elena, her mind expanding beyond anything she had ever imagined, glimpsed the vast, ancient civilization of Zephyria, its wonders, its flaws, and its potential. As the connection faded, Elena and Zara stood facing each other, forever changed. The courtroom had fallen silent, the Zephyrians processing the enormity of what had just occurred. Zara was the first to speak, her voice filled with newfound respect. "Captain Elena Reyes, on behalf of the Zephyrian Collective, I offer our deepest apologies and our hand in friendship. We have much to learn from one another." Elena nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "And we have much to teach. High Counselor, I believe this is the beginning of a beautiful alliance." As the two leaders began to discuss the framework for diplomatic relations, Dr. Chen approached Elena, beaming with pride. "Captain, I think we just rewrote the book on first contact protocols." Elena laughed, the tension of the past hours finally breaking. "That we did, Samantha, that we did." She looked out over the sea of Zephyrians, their skin now pulsing with harmonious patterns of blue and gold, a visual representation of the newfound understanding between their species. Little did they know that this unprecedented alliance would soon be put to the test, as an ancient threat stirred in the depths of the galaxy, a force that would require the combined strength and ingenuity of both humanity and the Zephyrians to overcome. Unexpected allies. The rebellion begins. The U.S. horizon hung in space above Zephyria, its sleek hull now adorned with iridescent patterns, mimicking the Zephyrians' bioluminescent communication. It had been 3 months since the groundbreaking first contact, and the alliance between humans and Zephyrians had flourished beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling purple planet below. The neural link she now shared with the Zephyrian Collective buzzed faintly in the back of her mind, a constant reminder of the unprecedented connection between their species. "Captain," Lieutenant Sarah O'Neill's voice came through the comm, "we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth. It's encrypted with a code I've never seen before." Elena frowned. "Route it to my private quarters. I'll take it there." As she made her way through the ship, Elena couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. Something was off, and her newfound Zephyrian intuition was screaming danger. The moment she activated the holographic display in her quarters, Elena knew her instincts were right. The face that appeared wasn't that of any Earth official. It was Dr. Alexei Volkov, a brilliant but disgraced xenoarchaeologist who had vanished years ago after making wild claims about ancient alien civilizations. "Captain Reyes." Volkov's haggard face filled the display, his eyes darting nervously off-screen. "I don't have much time. What I'm about to tell you will sound insane, but you must listen. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hangs in the balance." Elena leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "I'm listening, Doctor." Volkov took a deep breath. The Zephyrians are not what they seem. Their civilization, their very existence, is built on a a lie that's been perpetuated for millions of years. What are you talking about? Elena demanded, her mind reeling. The cosmic architects, Volkov whispered, his voice filled with a mixture of awe and terror. An ancient race of beings that shaped the galaxy eons ago. The Zephyrians, they're not the descendants of these beings as they believe. They're their creations, living weapons designed to combat a threat so vast it defies comprehension. Elena's blood ran cold. The neural link in her mind seemed to pulse with an alien frequency, as if responding to Volkov's words. That's impossible. We've seen their history, their memories. Fabrications, Volkov interrupted. Implanted by the architects to keep the Zephyrians docile until they were needed. But something's gone wrong. The threat the architects feared, it's awakening, and the fail-safes they put in place are beginning to break down. Before Elena could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Captain to the bridge immediately. Jamal's voice crackled through the comm, panic evident in his tone. I have to go, Elena said, her mind racing to process this earth-shattering information. Volkov's eyes widened with desperation. Elena, listen to me. You need to find the Nexus key. It's hidden somewhere on Zephyria. It's the only thing that can. The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving Elena staring at a blank screen. She sprinted to the bridge, her heart pounding. The scene that greeted her was one of chaos. The view screen showed dozens of Zephyrian ships, their hulls crackling with energy unlike anything they'd seen before. Report, Elena barked, sliding into her captain's chair. Jamal's fingers flew over his console. It's the Zephyrians, Captain. Something's changed. Half their fleet has turned against the other half. They're tearing each other apart. Dr. Samantha Chen rushed onto the bridge, her face pale. Captain, the neural link, it's going haywire. I'm getting flashes of something ancient, something terrifying. Elena made a split-second decision. Open a channel to High Counselor Zara. Now. The view screen flickered to life, revealing Zara's face. But the serene leader they had come to know was gone, replaced by a being whose eyes crackled with eldritch energy. Captain Reyes, Zara's voice echoed with an otherworldly resonance. The awakening has begun. The cosmic architects call us to war. Zara, listen to me. Elena pleaded, this isn't who you are. You're being controlled. For a moment, something flickered in Zara's eyes, a glimpse of recognition, of the friend Elena had come to know. But it was quickly subsumed by the alien presence. We are what we were always meant to be, Zara intoned. Join us, Elena Reyes, or be destroyed along with all who resist the architect's will. The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Elena's mind raced, weighing impossible options. Then, a calm settled over her as she made her decision. Jamal, get us out of orbit. Now, her voice was steel. Plot a course for the far side of Zephyria's largest moon. We need to regroup. As the Horizon maneuvered away from the planet, narrowly avoiding weapons fire from the corrupted Zephyrian ships, Elena turned to her crew. What I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but I need you to trust me. Our mission has just changed. We're no longer explorers or diplomats. As of this moment, we are the leaders of a rebellion against forces beyond our comprehension. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. Our goal is to find something called the Nexus Key. It's hidden somewhere on Zephyria, and it may be our only hope of stopping this awakening. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her eyes wide. Captain, through the neural link, I'm sensing others. Zephyrians who are resisting the architect's control. They're scared, confused, but they want to fight back. Elena nodded, a glimmer of hope igniting in her chest. Then we're not alone. Our first task is to establish contact with these resistance fighters. We'll need all the help we can get. As the horizon disappeared behind Zephyria's moon, safe for the moment from the chaos engulfing the planet, Elena gazed out at the stars. The galaxy she had dreamed of exploring since childhood now loomed as a battlefield in a war older than human civilization. "I need everyone at their best," she addressed her crew, her voice filled with determination. "We're about to embark on the most important mission in human history. The odds are against us, the enemy is beyond our understanding, but failure is not an option. We will find this Nexus key, we will save our Zephyrian allies, and we will stop whatever cosmic horror the architects unleashed." As her words sank in, a transformation swept through the bridge. Fear gave way to resolve, doubt to determination. This ragtag crew of explorers was about to become the vanguard of a rebellion that would shake the foundations of the galaxy. Little did they know that their greatest challenges and most unexpected allies still lay ahead. The hunt for the Nexus key would take them to the darkest corners of Zephyria, force them to confront mind-bending cosmic truths, and ultimately lead to a confrontation that would decide the fate of not just their two species, but of all sentient life in the universe. The rebellion had begun, and at its heart stood Captain Elena Reyes, a human woman carrying the hopes of two civilizations, ready to defy the will of godlike beings to forge a future of her own making. The Great Deception, humanity's cunning plan. The moons of Zephyria cast an eerie glow over the U.S. horizon as it drifted in the shadow of a massive asteroid. Captain Elena Reyes stood before a holographic map of the planet, her face illuminated by the swirling patterns of energy that represented the ongoing conflict below. "Status report," she commanded, her voice tight with tension. Dr. Samantha Chen stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with a mix of excitement and fear. "Captain, we've made contact with the Zephyrian resistance. They call themselves the Luminous Defiance. Their leader, a renegade scientist named Zix, has provided us with crucial information about the Nexus key." Elena leaned in, her heart racing. "What have we learned?" Samantha's fingers danced over a control panel, bringing up a 3D model of an ancient, ornate device. The Nexus key isn't just an object, it's a living artifact. Part biological, part technological. It's said to contain the true history of the Zephyrians and the failsafe protocols of the cosmic architects. Lieutenant Commander Jamal Khan frowned. "And finding this is supposed to help us how, exactly?" "Because," Elena replied, her mind racing with possibilities, "if we can access the key, we might be able to undo the architect's programming, free the Zephyrians from their control." A heavy silence fell over the bridge as the magnitude of their task sank in. It was Lieutenant Sarah O'Neill who finally broke it. "There's just one problem, Captain. The key is hidden in the Citadel of Echoes, the most heavily fortified structure on Zephyria, and it's currently under the control of the awakened forces." Elena's eyes narrowed as she studied the holographic representation of the Citadel. Its spiraling towers and energy shields seemed impenetrable, but there had to be a way. Suddenly, her neural link buzzed with an alien presence. Zix, the leader of the Luminous Defiance, was reaching out. Elena closed her eyes, allowing the Zephyrian's thoughts to merge with her own. "Captain Reyes," Zix's mental voice resonated in her mind. "We may have found a way to infiltrate the Citadel, but it will require a sacrifice that your people may not be willing to make." Elena's eyes snapped open. "Tell me." The plan that unfolded over the next hour was audacious, borderline insane. But as Elena explained it to her crew, she saw the spark of hope ignite in their eyes. "Let me get this straight," Jamal said, his voice a mix of disbelief and admiration. "We're going to fake a surrender to the awakened forces, allowing them to capture the Horizon and its crew. Once inside the Citadel, we'll use Dr. Chen's modified neural transmitter to broadcast a cognitive virus that will temporarily disrupt the architect's control." Elena nodded. "Precisely. But here's the kicker. The virus isn't just code. It's us. Our memories, our experiences, our very humanity. We're going to flood the Zephyrian collective consciousness with everything that makes us human." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her eyes shining with excitement. "I've been working with Zix to modify our neural interfaces. We believe that by bombarding the awakened Zephyrians with the full spectrum of human emotion and individuality, we can create a cognitive dissonance that will shatter the architect's programming, at least temporarily. And in that moment of chaos, Elena continued, a small team will make a break for the Nexus key. The bridge erupted into a flurry of questions and concerns. The plan was risky, with 1,000 ways it could go wrong. But as Elena met the eyes of each crew member, she saw the same determination reflected back at her. "I won't lie to you," she said, her voice carrying across the now silent bridge. "This mission is likely a one-way trip, but if we succeed, we'll be saving not just the Zephyrians, but potentially the entire galaxy from whatever horror the cosmic architects were preparing to face." She paused, letting her words sink in. "I'm asking for volunteers only. Anyone who wishes to stay behind will be given a shuttle and coordinates to a safe haven." For a moment, no one moved. Then, as one, every member of the bridge crew stood at attention. Jamal spoke for all of them. "Captain, I think I speak for everyone when I say, we didn't come all this way to run and hide. We're with you to whatever end." Elena felt a lump form in her throat. She had never been prouder of her crew than in this moment. "Very well," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Let's go save the galaxy." The next few hours were a blur of preparation. The horizon was rigged with false signs of battle damage. Dr. Chen worked tirelessly to integrate the modified neural transmitters into the crew's communication systems. And Elena recorded a false surrender message, her voice laced with just the right amount of defeat and desperation. As they approached Zephyria, the ship's sensors detected a massive gathering of awakened forces around the Citadel of Echoes. Elena took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "This is Captain Elena Reyes of the U.S. Horizon," she broadcast, her voice echoing across the Zephyrian frequencies. "We surrender. I repeat, we surrender. We request permission to land and to join the awakening." For a heart-stopping moment, there was no response. Then the comm crackled to life. "Permission granted, Horizon," came the eerily harmonized voice of the awakened Zephyrians. "Prepare to be escorted to the Citadel of Echoes. Your integration into the collective awaits." As the Horizon descended through Zephyria's atmosphere, flanked by awakened ships, Elena shared one last look with her crew. No words were needed. They all knew what was at stake. The Citadel of Echoes loomed before them, a twisted spire of impossible geometry that seemed to defy the laws of physics. As they touched down on a landing platform, Elena felt the weight of history pressing down upon her. In the next few hours, the fate of 2 civilizations, and perhaps the entire galaxy, would be decided. Little did the awakened forces know that within the minds of the Horizon's crew lay a Trojan horse of human consciousness, ready to be unleashed. The greatest deception in galactic history was about to unfold, and at its heart stood a handful of humans, armed with nothing but their ingenuity, their courage, and the unbreakable bonds of their shared humanity. As the boarding ramp lowered, Elena squared her shoulders and prepared to face whatever lay ahead. The final battle for the soul of Zephyria and the future of the galaxy was about to begin. Triumph of unity, a new galactic order. The Citadel of Echoes pulsed with an otherworldly energy as Captain Elena Reyes and her crew were led through its twisting corridors. Awakened Zephyrians flanked them on all sides, their eyes glowing with the eerie light of the cosmic architect's control. Elena's heart raced, but she maintained a facade of defeated acceptance. The neural transmitter Dr. Chen had designed hummed softly against her temple, ready to broadcast humanity's consciousness at a moment's notice. They were brought to a vast chamber at the heart of the Citadel. Suspended in the center was a swirling vortex of energy, the Nexus key. Its pulsating light cast dancing shadows across the faces of the assembled awakened. High Counselor Zara, now fully consumed by the architect's will, stepped forward. Her voice resonated with inhuman power. "Welcome, humans, to the dawn of a new era. Your minds will now be integrated into the collective, your individuality erased in service of the greater purpose." Elena met Zara's gaze, silently pleading with whatever remnant of her friend might remain. "Before we proceed," she said carefully, "I have one request. Allow us to share a final memory of Earth with you. A parting gift before we join your collective." Zara's head tilted, curiosity momentarily overriding the architect's programming. "Very well, show us this memory of your world." It was the opening they needed. Elena locked eyes with Dr. Chen, who gave an almost imperceptible nod. "Now," Elena shouted. In that instant, the neural transmitters activated. A tidal wave of human consciousness crashed into the Zephyrian hive mind. Memories, emotions, dreams, and fears, the entire spectrum of human experience flooded the collective. The effect was immediate and staggering. Awakened Zephyrians staggered, their minds overwhelmed by the onslaught of individuality. Cries of confusion and anguish filled the chamber as the alien presence of the architects clashed with the raw humanity now coursing through their neural network. Elena pushed through the mental maelstrom, fighting to maintain her sense of self as the boundaries between minds blurred. Through the chaos, she spotted an opening, a clear path to the Nexus key. "Jamal." "Samantha, with me," she called out, her voice barely audible over the psychic tumult. The three of them fought their way towards the swirling vortex, even as awakened Zephyrians writhed around them, caught between two warring consciousnesses. As they reached the Nexus key, its energy intensified, responding to their presence. Elena reached out, her fingers mere inches from its surface, when a powerful force knocked her back. Zara stood before them, her form flickering between her true self and the architect-controlled version. "You cannot. We will not allow." Her voice shifted, a war raging within her very being. Elena struggled to her feet, locking eyes with the conflicted Zephyrian leader. "Zara, listen to me. This isn't who you are. Remember our friendship, our alliance. Remember the future we dreamed of building together." For a moment, Zara's eyes cleared, recognition flooding back. "Elena? What's happening to me?" "Fight it, Zara," Elena urged, inching closer to the Nexus key. "The architects lied to you. You're not weapons. You're a beautiful, unique species with the right to choose your own destiny." Zara's form convulsed, the architect's programming making a final push for control. "No, we must, the threat. We were created to." In that moment of hesitation, Elena longed for the Nexus key. As her hand made contact with its swirling surface, a blinding light engulfed the chamber. Time seemed to stand still. In the span of a heartbeat, Elena experienced aeons of history. She saw the rise and fall of the cosmic architects, the true origin of the Zephyrians, and the looming threat that had driven the architects to such desperate measures. With a gasp, Elena pulled back, the knowledge of ages burning in her mind. She turned to face the assembled Zephyrians, her voice ringing with newfound authority. "Listen to me, all of you. The architects deceived you. They created you not as weapons, but as inheritors. They saw in your species the potential to surpass even them. The threat they feared. It's not some external enemy, it's the stagnation of their own power." A ripple of shock passed through the crowd. Zara, now free from the architect's control, stepped forward. "Is this true? All of it?" Elena nodded, her expression softening. "Yes, Zara. The Nexus key holds the truth of your history. The architects wanted you to evolve, to find your own path. But they became afraid of what you might become, so they tried to control you." As the reality of their situation sank in, the awakened Zephyrians began to shake off the last vestiges of the architect's influence. The hive mind fractured, individual consciousnesses reasserting themselves. Jamal let out a low whistle. "I can't believe it. We actually did it." But their victory celebration was short-lived. The citadel began to shake, energy crackling along its walls. Dr. Chen's eyes widened in alarm. "Captain, the Nexus key, it's destabilizing. Without the architect's control, the energy that powers this place is going haywire." Elena's mind raced. They had won the battle for the Zephyrians' freedom, but now faced an even greater threat. If the citadel collapsed, the resulting energy release could tear the planet apart. In that moment of crisis, Elena felt a surge of inspiration. She turned to Zara, an idea forming. Zara, your people have a connection to this technology that we humans can't fully understand. If we work together, humans and Zephyrians, do you think we could stabilize the Nexus key? Zara's eyes lit up with understanding. A fusion of our collective consciousness and your individual creativity, it just might work. What followed was unlike anything in the history of either species. Human and Zephyrian minds melded, not in subjugation, but in harmony. Elena felt the power of the Zephyrian collective, tempered and directed by human ingenuity and determination. Together, they reached out to the Nexus key, reshaping its purpose. No longer a tool of control, it became a beacon of unity. The chaotic energy stabilized, flowing through the citadel and out across the planet. As the last tremors subsided, Elena opened her eyes to a transformed world. The oppressive atmosphere of the citadel had lifted, replaced by a sense of infinite possibility. Zara approached her, eyes shining with gratitude and newfound purpose. Elena, you and your crew have given us more than just freedom. You've shown us a new way forward. Elena smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. This is just the beginning, Zara. Together, we can build something greater than either of our species could have imagined alone. As news of the events at the Citadel spread across Zephyria, a new era dawned. The alliance between humans and Zephyrians, forged in the crucible of crisis, became the foundation for a galactic civilization unlike any before it. The U.S. Horizon, once a simple exploration vessel, now stood as a symbol of the boundless potential of cooperation between species. And at the heart of this new interstellar community stood Captain Elena Reyes and High Counselor Zara, their friendship a testament to the power of understanding and trust. As Elena gazed out at the stars from the observation deck of the newly christened Harmony Station, a joint human-Zephyrian outpost orbiting the planet, she reflected on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. Captain's log, final entry, she spoke softly. As we prepare to welcome delegations from a dozen newly discovered species, I'm struck by how far we've come. What began as a simple mission of exploration has transformed into something far greater. We've not just made first contact or forged an alliance. We've birthed a new galactic order, one built on the principles of mutual respect, shared knowledge, and the celebration of our differences. She paused, a smile playing at her lips. The cosmic architects sought to create the perfect weapons to face some unknown threat. Instead, they gave birth to a species with the potential for greatness. And in reaching out to us, the Zephyrians found not servants or saviors, but partners in a grand cosmic dance. As the first ships of the newly formed Galactic Concord came into view, Elena felt a surge of hope for the future. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that together, human, Zephyrian, and whatever new friends they might make among the stars, they were ready to face them. The age of isolation was over. A new chapter in the history of the galaxy had begun, and it all started with a simple mission of exploration, a misunderstood alien custom, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship forged across the stars.